shit. What's up, neighbors, all stars? It's your Mr. Cockroach Killers, and I wish this was a victory cigar, but it ain't, cause there weren't no victory in the world of the Cockroach Killers this week. It was awful. Let me start off by saying congrats to the 4 teams that made it so far. Well, 3 teams that made it to this point, because one of the 4 got eliminated. That fourth the team that got eliminated was Ben there, raped that. He had the low score. Everybody else was like 150, 160 something. He had 132. So shout out to the 3 remaining teams: Catahoula Leopards, LLX2, and Mr. Rogers Neighborhood. You 3 will play next week for the guy who gets eliminated, and in week 11 will be deciding who the champ is, because there'll only be 2 teams left. So whoever scores the highest between those 2 teams wins the side pot. So hey, once again, congrats for making it this far, guys. That means your teams had some nice scoring weeks where you weren't able to get that low score, so it's pretty good. Um, let's start off with this matchup, man. Today I had me a little case of the runs, a little diarrhea. And honestly, I think that my team might have contaminated me, bro, because that's what they was. They played like diarrhea this week. I mean, my whole team just played like shit. This matchup between the Twat Waffles and Cockroach Killers was a fairly easy one for the Twat Waffles. I wasn't the lowest scoring team this week, but I was close. I was the second lowest scoring team this week. And the only person even worth talking about on my team was Kareem Hunt with 35 points. And the Steelers defense got me 16. And everybody else got 10 points or less. Matter of fact, one person got 10 points and everybody got less. There was some weird shit happened, though. I don't know what's going on with that app, but I'm not gonna get into that. Anyways, yeah, my team was horrible this week. Twat Waffles had Deshaun Watson, who gave him 25, and OJ Howard gave him 21. Cowboys defense 17. Zeke gave him 17, and that was pretty much it for him. And like I said, his team wasn't doing well either, but the luck of the draw with the matchup gave him the victory this week. Twat Waffles, you improved to 6-3, and the Cockroach Killers drops to 4-5. Still fighting for maybe that last playoff spot. I ain't out of it yet. Don't count me out. All right. Next matchup, we got Mr. Rogers Neighborhood versus Steel City. This was a matchup of 2 teams that came into the week 6-2. Arguably 2 of the better teams, 2 of the best teams in the league. You could throw Whopper Plopper in there. This was a showdown. It was supposed to be. And it wasn't bad. 2 very high scoring teams, and they scored pretty well too, like the third and second highest score of the week, basically. Only one team scored higher than them, and that was the Whopper Plopper. Anyways, Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, you fell on the short end of the stick with this one. Even though James White, Jimmy Blanco gave you 30, he got 32 from Connor and 28 from Kelsey, and Brady chipped in with 20. But on the other side for Steel City, Ryan Fitzmagic 34, DeAndre Hopkins 28, George Kittle 22, and the Bears defense the Bears defense just crushed Buffalo. They had 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 picks, 4 sacks, fumble recoveries, only allowed 9 points, 45 points in total for them. And Steel City, that was the deciding factor. Obviously, the performance of those Bears defense. 189, 164. Steel City, you improved to 7-2. Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, you dropped to 6-3. This next matchup, we got 2 of the worst teams in the league going head to head. Century Legends versus Jägermeister. And this was actually, when you get those games that you see 2 bad teams, you say, I don't want to watch that, man. Who want to see these two teams play each other? They stink. Well, actually, that turned out usually to be a pretty good game, and this was the best game of the week, the closest game of the week, only decided by 5 points, believe it or not. For Century Legends, you had Russell Wilson and Tevin Coleman, who did pretty good, 25 and 35. And the Dolphins defense, you a Dolphin fan, ain't Miami Dolphin. No, I'm a Patriots fan, bro. I'm not no Dolphin fan. But anyways, your Dolphins got you 39 points playing those Jets, who are just have no offense whatsoever. I don't even know. I think Alabama could beat those boys, man, to be honest with you. Anyways, Jägermeister sticking with his theme of, well, I got the best receiver, best running back, and best quarterback in the league. And then I have nobody else on my team to back them up. And it, once again, didn't work out for you. 37 for Pat Mahomes, 21 for Melvin Gordon, 27 for Julio, 20 from the Broncos defense, and then a slew of other scores that I won't dare mention. Anyways, Century Legends, you pull out of this one with the victory, 3-6. Jägermeister, you continue your streak of excellence with 1 win and 8 losses. Next matchup, we got Songs for Money versus Catahoula Leopards. Catahoula Leopards came into this week with only 2 losses, and he left with only 2 losses because he beat Songs for Money by 24 points. That's it, 24. Yep, 24 points. Not quite a blowout, but it was a comfortable win for him. Jared Goff gave Songs for Money 42 points, and then he got 22 from the Chargers defense, 19 from Gurley, and then he had 6 guys who didn't reach 10 points, and his kicker gave him 11. So for Catahoula Leopards, Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey, they combined for 52 points 62 points actually between both of them. And Brandon Cooks got 25. Calvin Ridley chipped in with 19. So, like I said, you came out with the win. 7-2 is your record, and Songs for Money, 3-6. 3-6. I'm not saying it's too late, but one more loss and you're out of there. Next matchup, we got the Whopper Plopper versus LLX2. Now, Whopper Plopper was one of those other teams I was talking about who could put in the argument for one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league. This was a pretty convincing win. Congratulations on high score of the week with 191. For LLX2, he got 165, which is not a bad score at all, actually. But hey, he just went up against the highest scoring team in the league, so. And the highest scoring team this week. So I mean, it's just a bad matchup. One of those unfortunate things with weekly matchups, head-to-head matchups. Aaron Rodgers gave you 24. Alvin Kamara 35, and you got 26 from the Jets defense. Your kicker gave you 17. But on the other side for Whopper Plopper, he had this combination of Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, who combined, just the 2 of them, for 89 points. 2 guys. 89 points. Then you chip in 28 from Humphreys, which was a masterful move, man. I don't recall seeing anybody playing Adam Humphreys in all the leagues I'm in. So that was just a masterful move right there. He got you 28. Titans gave you 27. And you come up with the victory. 7-2 is your new record. 3-6, that's the record for LLX2. Last matchup, we got Been There, Rate That versus Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, you did it, man. You got the low score of the week, 92 points. You didn't crack 100. Been There, Rate That, even though you were eliminated for the remaining 4 out the side pot, you were not the lowest scoring team in the league. You played the lowest scoring team in the league this week. So that was basically an automatic win. You won by 40 points. And it wasn't a dominant performance by your team, but it was a well-rounded, all-around performance. Everybody chipped in. You had a lot of guys with 15, 16, double digits, 19. You had one guy with 20 or more, and that was Keenan Allen with 24. As for Game of Throws, he had Josh Gordon with 26, and then he had 2 more guys that scored in double digits, and that was Robert Woods with 12, Amari Cooper, and his big Dallas debut with 16 points. So, Been There, Rate That, you improved to 5-4. Game of Throws, you dropped to 2-7. That's it for this week, guys. I had to make it quick. Well, it's not quick. It's basically the same amount of time I always take every week. But, anyways, it is what it is. Get ready for week 10 tonight, Tuesday night. Waivers go in. Don't forget to set your waivers. And I'll see y'all next week for the weekly recap of week 10. Peace.